You didn't get one hash mark in the W
That's
column.
the first time that's happened since 1986. It's my story. Let me tell it. I did not pick a single winner for the Strawberry Cup.
Well,
you guys, on the other hand, were on point.
yeah.
You guys did well.
So I could become a bookie.
There's a good chance of that. And with a name like Handsome Dom, I think you can make some money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Strawberry Cup. Street Stocks, Sportsman, IMCA Mods, Super Sports, and Super Late Models. This is a good card. This is a good card. Lots of racing. Lots of racing. And we're going to talk about this. Do you want to talk about this? Or do you want to talk about the special event that took place there first?
I think we should talk about the special event leading into it.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Because it's pretty special. I think we should really get into the whole meat of the week.
Yeah.
So let's start with that.
And we
I
had
agree.
some guests up in the tower, and
Oh, man. That was, you know what? That was pretty cool.
I loved it.
That was pretty cool. So let's start with it. Okay, so we kind of kept it on the down low. It's kind of something we do. We get a little sneaky around here sometimes. We had a very special weekend with Fast Friday. Actually started the week
Right.
with the IMCA divisions with the Fast Friday show. $5 to the fans to get in. Pretty good crowd. Not bad. But
With the fair going on? Oh, yeah.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, with the fair going on across town, we were lucky to have anybody there. But we had actually a pretty good crowd. The highlight of that night, no doubt. I mean, the racing, I will say this to the IMCA modified drivers on Friday night. You guys were absolutely awesome.
Hammer down.
Great racetrack. The racing, phenomenal. One of the best modified races I've seen in probably 10 years.
3-car shootout for the lead. Oh, yeah.
With the three drivers, it was phenomenal. I mean, truly one of the greatest modified races I've seen, at least at that track anyhow. Okay? I still wouldn't call that the highlight of the night. Would you?
No.
I wouldn't either. Because Friday night, because he couldn't be there Saturday, we started our Hall of Fame inductions. And Friday night was a very special night for many people at the racetrack when Kenny Wheaton was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Now, Kenny had, this is what's great about this, we worked on this. You guys helped me out. We worked on this. It's a 4-month process to really get this deal done. Once we've got our committee put together and we decide our class for the Hall of Fame. Okay, now, Kenny Wheaton was on everybody's list. And he was at the top. This guy deserves to be there. A legend at the racetrack. We get there, and he's there with the family, and they're hanging out and having a good time at the races. We go down to do the trophy presentation. And in that time, I'm talking, and I introduce Kenny Wheaton to the crowd and say, we had a special visitor tonight. Kenny Wheaton's in the house, a legend here at Willamette Speedway. I get my phone out, and I go through reading about what I wrote about Kenny, talking about his career at Willamette Speedway, some of the highlights, being the face of the High Wallers program, driving for the only prison-based racing team in the country. Talked about all that, called him down, and in that process, I had it set up where I had J.J. Irvine with me. JJ and those guys, he's really tight with that family. The rest of those kids were too, but JJ it's kind of I grew up out there with JJ. And Kenny was a big, I'll say use the word hero, influence, a big part of his life. I do the whole spiel, and I hand the mic over to JJ, and JJ looks at Kenny, and we're both fighting tears. I think everybody was. And JJ says, Kenny Wheaton, welcome to the Willamette Speedway Hall of Fame. Kenny had no idea. I mean, talk about a guy who is so humble. I mean, you look at Kenny Wheaton, and he looks like that guy that's going to get off a Harley, walk up, slap your kid, punch your dog, and do it. I mean, he just got that. He's got that outlaw, badass look. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your life, truly. We do the induction. We get him into the Hall of Fame. The crowd cheers him on. He has no idea what's coming next.
Yeah,
Jeff Rash had pulled his race car up, and he's running the old paint scheme from 1987 that Kenny and Bob Boyd ran together with the number 34 and the black with the stripe down the side. I mean, it's the retro. Yeah. Now, he had never seen this car in person. Jeff Rash pulls it up onto the front stretch. We're talking about the car, and Kenny's talking about how cool it is. I said, Kenny, would you give us the honor of seeing a few laps? Would you get in the car and take a couple of laps for old time's sakes and kind of give us a goodbye? I said, there's a helmet there waiting for you. Jeff brought the car out. You can jump in if you want. He says, let's do it. He gets in the car, right? Here's what I am expecting, along with Jeff Rash and JJ, everybody else. We're expecting him to get in the car, do a couple parade laps, wave to the crowd, send off, thanks, it's been awesome, love you guys. Goes into turn 1, kind of putts around, picks up a little speed down the backstretch into turn 3, comes out of turn 4 and put that pedal on the floor. It was like green flag.
Left.
No, it was like he'd never missed a day. The car went down the front stretch. We all look at each other like,
yeah.
What? Into turn 1, wide open, turns that car in, rolls it over in the right rear. The car gets set, back on the throttle, and we did 4 laps. I mean, it was so awesome to watch Kenny Wheaton, and it looked like he had never missed a day. The crowd was, I mean, they were ecstatic. It was unbelievable. We're standing around. I don't care how tough you are. JJ Hill, I had tears in my eyes. JJ's got tears in his eyes. His family's up there. They're all crying, you know. I mean, everybody there that really knew Kenny, you couldn't help but have tears in your eyes. Sam?
Oh, yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was awesome.
It was,
And I know it was really important to you because I know that was, again, it was a personal thing for you on top of it. You know,
Very
it
much.
was really awesome.
Very much.
And then we had Russell come visit us up in the tower.
We did, yeah, that was kind of cool. So that was the next night. But when Kenny stopped the car, I had a checkered flag drop down. I gave him the checkered flag, and I gave him the motion, get on down the road. And he did another lap carrying the flag. Pretty cool deal. Great picture opportunity. So the next night, we get to the track, and you know how busy it is at Strawberry Cup. It's nuts.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Sam, I feel sorry for you out there in the pit area. Dom and I are running around. I think I lost like 9 pounds that day. So Dom and I are up doing our thing, getting ready to start heat races. I think we just completed qualifying.
Right. And I just ran downstairs to get a drink.
Right.
And who was at the front gate trying to get in? Somebody didn't recognize him.
Yeah. How you don't recognize that legend, I have no idea. But I'm sitting there talking on the mic. I hear the door open. I'm assuming it's Dom, right? You got there just before, and he follows him in. Russell. I turn around. I'm like, what are you doing here, Russ? What's going on? He goes, 40 years I've raced at this track, and it's the second time I've been up here. He goes, man, you guys have the best seat in the house. I said, yeah, it's a pretty awesome seat. So we hung out up there and watched some heat races with us, and we kind of BS'd in between races and hung out with Russ. And this comes into play later on because he was there for a particular reason. We had 4 more inductees on Saturday night, and those inductees into the Hall of Fame were Tom Pitts, Johnny Schuler, Norm Davis, and Virgil Hansen. Okay, and we did Tom Pitts or Johnny Schuler first, right? No, we did Tom Pitts first, Johnny Schuler second, then we did Virgil Hansen and Norm Davis. And everybody knows that if you know Russ Sell, his crew chief for a long, long time was Norm Davis. Norm Davis, the former champion, 1977, him and Virgil Hansen together as teammates, won the 1977 title with their little Nova. Beautiful race car. Both of them going to the Hall of Fame in the same class. Pretty awesome deal. As I'm reading about Norm Davis, you know, he's the last one to go in, so now he's got it all figured out. You know, he knows what's happening. As I'm reading it, I get to the very end where we welcome the driver. You know how I do it, you guys. I write the write-up, and at the very end, I say, you know, Norm Davis, welcome to the Hall of Fame. I get to that very last part. I said, Russ, come here. Russ L comes over, I hand him the mic. Russ looks at Norm and says, Norm Davis, welcome to the Hall of Fame. Russ isn't even in the Hall of Fame yet.
Right.
I mean, this is one of the true legends, a 5-time champion in 2 different divisions at Willamette Speedway. He's not even in the Hall of Fame, and it meant everything for him to be able to say those words to Norm because all he did for his career.
Yep, all those years of taking care of it. I mean, as well as all his sons, everything. You know,
everything.
Yeah, Norm has
yes,
been
awesome.
quite impressive.
Now, when you are the guy on the mic inducting these guys into the Hall of Fame, and it is guys that you looked up to when you were a kid, I don't care how cool it is for those guys to go into the Hall of Fame, for me to have that honor to put them there, I'm every bit as honored to be able to do that as they are to go into the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean?
Well, again, like you said, for so many years you looked up to them.
Those are my heroes.
And that, I mean, for you to be able to do that's incredible in itself.
It would be like, you know, some kid today getting able to induct Jerry Rice or, you know, somebody like that on that caliber. I mean, that's what these guys were to me growing up. Yeah. These guys were the legends. You know, they weren't Cale Yarborough. They weren't guys that we didn't know. These were guys that we knew, guys that we raced with.
Legends.
Yes.
That you could watch them work on their car in the pits. And,
right.
Yeah.
And so for me, to be able to do that. I mean, it's hard. It is hard because, I mean, you guys, you were there. I choked up on I got through it without getting too bad, but I did choke up doing Johnny Schuler. You know, I've got a picture of myself at 4 years old sitting in Johnny Schuler's car in Victory Lane on the front stretch at Willamette Speedway after he won the feature. At 4 years old. All those guys raced together. These were the guys that I grew up, you know, wanting to be like.
Sure.
And now I'm putting them in the Hall of Fame. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, what an honor. What an honor. And one of the coolest things all night was Virgil Hansen not having any idea why he was there. No idea. Just they were going to race a Strawberry Cup all of a sudden, and they were bringing the late model, which Craig hasn't brought the late model out in 7 years, right? 7 years.
We all know Virgil's really excited to even talk.
Yeah. So they get the car unloaded, and as they're in the pit area, Craig and Jeff have Norm come down, right? And they say, listen, guys, they got a white late model. There's no stickers on it at all. They say, listen, we're going old school tonight. And where the number goes, they take off the vinyl, they unroll it, and they stick it up there. It's a picture. It's a great big picture of the 1977 track champion car that those guys had at Willamette Speedway, the little Nova with the wing on it, with the number 42 on it. So they were originally going to put the 42 on the door. But they thought, you know what? Let's put this picture of Dad and Norm on here when their championship year. I mean, it was so cool. It was so cool. Now, when you're doing this, and these guys, if you know Virgil and you know Norm, especially growing up, these dudes are 100% badass. These are men's men. You know what I'm talking about? These guys are, you don't mess with these dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Johnny Schuler, total gentleman, 100% gentleman. Norm and Virgil, just badass dudes, right? Just badass. That's what I loved about them. But at the same time, when this is going on, and these dudes have tears in their eyes, it's one of those moments where you kind of like, even at 44 years old, all the conversations we've had in the shops and at the track, and it's kind of one of those deals where a little bit of reality hits, and you're kind of like, these guys are people too.
Yep.
You know, these guys have hearts. And it was just, for me, it was like, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, it's, definitely never forget. That's the.
And we've got it all on video. We've got it all on video, which is cool. So it was a big moment for me to get to be able to do stuff like that. I look forward to that. I look forward to doing every year from here on out. It's gonna be a cool deal. So that was, for me, of the entire weekend, the highlight.
Only 20 more years and you could probably get inducted.
Probably not.
19.
I'm hoping not.
19, they'll put them at 60.
They'll
put you 61.
I won't even be alive.
Yeah, you will.
No.
But that was just, that was for me.
Yeah, that was a great time.
I don't care what happens the rest of the year. No, it's not going to top that. For me personally, it's not going to top it. It's not,
Probably not.
Unless Claire Arnold walks through those gates, you know what I mean? Yeah. Nothing's going to top that moment this year.
Well,
But it was the Strawberry Cup, and we know what the Strawberry Cup means at Willamette Speedway. It is
the city.
Well, yeah, and the city as a whole, yes. That draws people actually from all over the state. But it's a big festival. The big parade, the carnival, the fireworks show, the races. We had a packed grandstands. There was a lot of people there. A lot of cars showed up. We have 110?
I want to say 110 or 109.
109, 110 cars, something like that. It was a lot showed up. By today's standards, at any racetrack.
Time.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Fantastic time. I want to start with, you want to start Street Stocks?
Sure.
Let's start Street Stocks.
Is this Saturday night or Friday night?
It's a Strawberry Cup, Saturday night.
All right.
We're just going to cover
Friday
Strawberry Cup.
Fast Friday.
So 15 Street Stocks showed up, and this is cool. This is a great way to start the racing recap. Fast qualifier in Street Stocks. Who was it, guys? You remember?
You've got the paper.
I want to say Roberts, wasn't it?
He was second.
Second? I don't know.
I don't remember.
Brad Gentry came back and got fast time.
Oh, that's right.
18,294. And they got a track that was just terrible to qualify on. That